All right, so we're going to quickly take a look at a summary of all the contextual / word problems that you could get. You're going to match each question with the situation. So each one of these questions, you're going to match it with this type, these situations right here, and then you're going to answer any additional questions that they have. So I'm just going to go through it, basically all that we've talked about in individual videos. So if you see the question asking something about half-life or double, you need to ask yourself if it's every 1 year, okay, or if it's every 5 years or every 10 years or every 15 years. So basically, is there a period in your time? So the hint is going to be if you have 2 times in the question, it's definitely not every 1 year, okay, or 1 hour or 1 week, but every so many hours, weeks, or whatever the time is. So that's going to be the hint. And then the language that you're going to look for is it says it doubles every, and this number is more than 1. Okay, so halves every more than 1. Or if it says it has a half-life of 10, that means it's half in every 10, whatever the thing is. All right, and when you see that, the time period is not 1. What you're going to do is still use the growth, exponential growth or decay formula, which is y equals abx, but you now know the time has 2 times in it. So k, so you're going to have the regular time divided by k, which is the length of the time interval. So for example, if it says it doubles every 5 years, it'll be t divided by 5. So just the half-life of the double goes on the bottom, because now you're going to calculate that period. All right. If it just says it doubles, but doesn't say anything about every so often, then you don't need to worry about that. The time is just the time. So this is just x. Or you can think of it as t divided by 1. Okay. All right, increasing and decreasing. So out of that, let's go see if there's a problem here. And I've kind of bolded some words for you to kind of help you identify what it is. And of course, I'm going to give you an assignment where I don't do that. All right, so increase and decreasing by. So this word by, not to, but by. So increasing by, decreasing by. If it's a percent or if it's a fraction or decimal. Okay, this is fraction or decimal. So increasing by, decreasing by a percent and a fraction. The only difference between the percent and the fraction with the word by is that percent always divides by 100. Okay, percent always divides by 100. So you'll see it's the exact same thing. If it's increasing, it's 1 plus. If it's decreasing by, it's 1 minus. And again, the only difference between percent or a fraction is that with percent, you have to divide it by 100. With the fraction, it's just going to be 1 plus whatever that fraction or decimal is. For decreasing by, it's going to be 1 minus whatever the fraction or decimal is. But for percent, decreasing by is 1 minus, and you have to convert the percent by dividing by 100. Okay, so what are your language cues that you're looking for? If you see increasing by 15%, decreasing by 15%. If you look at increasing 1/2, or if it gains 1/2, or if it loses 1/2, or it decreases by 1/2, those are the language cues you're looking for. So here's an example. It loses 40% each year. That's another way of saying it decreases by 40% each year. What would my B be? It'll be, remember, because it's a percent, you have to divide it by 100, which will be 0.14. And because it's decreasing, 1 minus. So your factor will be 0.6. Okay. A question can say gains 1/2. So that means if it gains, it's 1 plus 1/2. If it loses 1/4, okay, loses 1/4, decreases by 1/4, it'll be 1 minus 1/4. Okay, so the only difference between percent and a fraction is percent you're dividing by 100. And then finally, remains, the factor is given. So I have something remaining that is the factor. Other words for that would be survives, is left, is retained. The all means remains. So here's an example. 85% remains each hour. 85% remains each hour. This is the factor, but remember, anytime you have percent, that's not the factor, that's the rate. You have to divide that by 100. And so you'll get a fraction or a decimal. You can use either one of those. So again, remains is your B. So 85 divided by 100 is 0.85. So 0.85 is your B. All right, so what I want you to do is look through these 4 questions. Pay attention to the bold. Decide what question it is. And then it looks for each one. Write the exponential model. So write the function. And then find the value after so many years of whatever it's asking. Let's practice.